Hey, and welcome to the Calvin Child Show. Today I have Chanel Renee. She's a model and she has a business where she teaches other models how to walk and things like that. So we're going to communicate with her and ask her some questions and get down to the nitty gritty and find out what's going on with it. So how you doing today, Chanel?
I'm doing so good. How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Now let me ask you: when people ask you or say your name, do they say both names, Chanel Renee, or they just say Chanel?
That's a good question. I actually go by Chanel Renee, but a lot of people who know me personally, they'll just call me Chanel.
Okay. Okay. Now, so let me ask you: where are you from?
So I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi, and I've now reside in Los Angeles. So I've been living in Los Angeles for about a decade.
Okay. Shout out to Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay, Southern.
So yeah, that's
Where are
Southern
you
girls.
actually? Where are you located?
I'm all over the place, to be honest with you. Right now I'm in Delaware, but typically I'm in Philadelphia, but I'm on my way to Florida. So I'm literally at a
Okay.
hotel right now. So I'm on my way to Florida. It's my next trip, and I'll be out there for
Yeah.
about 3 or 4 weeks, and then I'll come back out here, and I got some big moves I'm getting ready to do. So yeah,
Okay. That's a lot of
yeah.
traveling.
There's a lot of traveling, a whole lot going on with me. Just so you know, this show is going to be on Amazon Fire TV. It's going to be on Roku TV and numerous other places. I'm fully syndicated pretty much everywhere. So, what was it like in Jackson? You said Jackson, Mississippi?
Yes, Jackson.
Okay, what was it like in Jackson, Mississippi, growing up as an inspiring model?
Well, it was really tough because in Jackson, during the time when I was living there, there was very little opportunities for anyone to do anything in fashion and modeling. So I always had like these really big aspirations to not only just model, but to travel and to not give myself limitations. Because when you're living in the South, it's really easy to limit yourself because you don't see the opportunities. There's no one who's actually doing that, and it's like no real industry. So I told myself that I'm not going to give myself limitations. So the very first thing I did when I got out of college was to decide to go ahead and really take modeling seriously. So how I did it is a little bit unpractical because like I kind of was a daredevil and decided to get into modeling to the point where I would start reaching out to photographers on my own. I would start doing test shoots and just creating a portfolio in a way that people never gave me advice on how to do that. So I would start connecting with different people. I would literally take my own money and get in a car and go to Atlanta, just shoot with a photographer who's not paying me to do that, but just so that I could have my portfolio built. So with me taking that type of initiative, that really just put me and opened so many doors for me. And I had an opportunity to network with so many amazing photographers. And that's really how I started my career.
Okay, sound like you're basically giving a blueprint to any inspiring model that's trying to get started. So
Yeah.
just to repeat that, you took it upon your own initiative to go ahead, shoot with photographers, travel if necessary,
Yep.
invest in yourself, invest in your craft.
Mhm.
That's pretty impressive. So what was like okay, so clearly you had to do some modeling in Mississippi. So tell me about some of the Mississippi shows. I want to hear the
Yeah.
stories. I want to hear these strange alleyways, you guys farms. Where'd you guys do shows at?
Yeah, so I actually, when I first started modeling, I got in connection with he is now a celebrity stylist. His name is Jay Bolin. So he is originally from Jackson, Mississippi as well, but now he resides in Dallas. And who he worked with today, he's worked with literally every celebrity, Morris Chestnut. He's even worked with Tyra Banks. He's worked with like every gospel artist you can think of as well. He is like extremely established in the community and in the styling world. So back in the day when I got started in modeling, I was pretty much I got started under him because he would produce fashion shows in Jackson. And he was already like this major celebrity before he was a celebrity in Jackson
Mhm.
during the time. And he was the only person really creating these type of really amazing fashion events. So I knew like if I was going to be a model, I need to be working with Jay Bolin. So I became one of his models in his fashion shows. And they were actually kind of you know, they were different back then because we didn't have the budgets and everything like that, so we just did what we could at the best that we could. So a lot of times the fashion shows would be like in bars or it'll be in like school settings in the auditorium, like in college auditoriums. and things like that, but still it was just different because there was no fashion community, there was no fashion events happening in Mississippi, so these were just, like, extravagant for us at the time. So, yeah, that's how I kinda got started, and then, I grew a friendship with Jay Bolin, and then actually, that's actually how I started Chanel Renee Project. I grew a friendship with Jay Bolin, and I decided that I wanted to start helping him with his fashion shows. So he would have me come on board to help him cast the models for the shows. And because I had such a unique, strong walk, like I was slaying the runway, okay? I was
Well,
literally
we
always
gonna
the
see this
best
walk before
model.
the show is over
Yeah,
now.
I was always the best model in every single fashion show, so he was like, "Oh, I need you to teach the girls how to walk like you." So that's
Mhm.
how I became like a runway coach, not trying to do it, but I was like, he wanted me to help them. But yeah, that basically is how I started the whole entire
Okay,
project is through Jay
okay.
Bolin.
Alright. So I
Are you
wanna
familiar with
hear.
who Jay Bolin is?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you should definitely look him up. His name is
I
Stylist
will.
Jay Bolin on Instagram.
Okay, I will. I wanna know about your humble beginnings. Did you ever sell tickets to a show?
Me personally, no. I never sold
Really?
tickets to a show. So the thing too is like in Jackson, there was a lot of different fashion productions that will ask a model to sell a ticket, but
Mhm.
those are the productions that I never got involved with. Because even then, with me starting modeling, I just knew that wasn't the right thing to do. Like to ask a model to like,
Right.
put her time, energy, and effort into like raising funds for the fashion show.
Mhm.
So no, I never sold tickets. I knew better than that.
Yeah, what I'm sometimes I ask these questions because I just wanna kinda let people know what does it take to be at your level or just to kinda succeed in anything that they wanna do. So sometimes, you know, people do different things and everybody got their own angle of how they, go about their success. So,
Yeah.
I totally get that. Yeah, yeah. So were there any amazing shows or, like, were there any, shows that were, so different that you never forgot? I mean,
Well,
coming up, we're still on Jacksonville. We're still
we're still in
on the
Jackson in my
Mississippi
come
area.
up
Yeah.
days. So, very interesting enough, I kinda got out of doing runway shows as a model very quickly, even though I had, like, a really strong runway walk, because I felt more in love with the production side of it and to working behind the scenes. So, this is still in Jackson.
Okay,
In
okay,
Jackson, I was a part of an extravagant fashion show that was called Rock the Runway. So Rock the Runway was kind of like, you remember how BET used to do Rip the Runway?
I
Or
do re
they'll have like these really big fashion show. They'll bring in a celebrity singer, a celebrity host, and things
mhm,
like that. We did the same thing in Jackson. So we will have Gary with the T, which is a comedian. He would come down and he would be the host as well as one of our hosts. Her name is Tamara Cherie. And I'm the runway coordinator, casting director, and backstage manager. And then we would put on these when I say elaborate, I mean
mhm.
extremely like we had budgets now. We had a budget.
Okay, okay,
And Jay Bolin was like our lead stylist and designer who was about part of it. And then basically what we created was a industry in Jackson. So we'll bring in like R&B singers who are actually famous to come in to
okay,
be a part of our shows and to do like the halftime part. So we would put together these extravagant events, and I really started falling in love with like doing more so working in production of runway.
mhm.
So that will be something that like is unforgettable because during that time when I was living in Mississippi, if you were a part of those shows or if you even attended a show, you would never forget it.
Wow.
We took it to a new level. It was giving this need to be recorded and put on TV. It was really
Is the
great.
is there anybody in Mississippi you wanna shout out?
Right now,
Yeah, just be like,
my
"Hey,"
family,
so okay. Alright, hey,
my
family.
family is still in Mississippi.
Okay. Anybody that's in Mississippi that's moving and shaking in the fashion industry that you just wanna,
I think a lot of people in the fashion industry
thank?
left Mississippi. But
Okay,
there's a lot of really amazing people who are still doing, like, great things. I
okay,
know there's, like, a few reality shows that's happening right now. The girls are looking amazing, so I wanna shout out everyone who's just doing their thing.
okay, okay. So after Mississippi, what was your next stop?
So once I left, Jackson, I moved to Los Angeles, and that's where I currently reside. I live in
Oh,
LA.
okay, okay. So what do you like better at the time when you were modeling? Was it photo shoots or runway?
I would say for me, it would definitely be photo shoots.
Okay.
I'm I love dressing up and just becoming a different character in pictures, and, I'm pretty much like a pose queen. So I love and I like the creative direction behind it all. Like, I really love, like, coming up with the storyline of what exactly the photo shoot is,
Mhm.
collaborating with the team, hair, makeup, wardrobe, the photographer, the art direction. I love everything about it, so I would say definitely I'm more of a photo shoot.
Okay. So tell me about your most elaborate photo shoot that you can recall.
Like, fashion photo shoot? Okay,
Yeah.
so back when I was in Jackson, this is actually in Jackson. I was working with this photographer who his name is Will Sterling. I still shout him out. He doesn't live in Jackson now. He's in Atlanta. But at one point,
I have heard of him.
so Sterling, he's very eccentric in his style, and
Mhm.
we decided he wanted to do a commercial that was going to be like showcasing what Sterling photography was. So I they put me on a harness hanging from the ceiling
Oh, that's
because
cool.
we were doing, like, still frame. You remember, like, back in the day where, people will, like, stand still in a video to make it seem like it was, like, a still frame shot? So
Mhm.
we did that in a commercial style. So each scene was everyone standing still. So there was a scene with me being harnessed from the ceiling, like,
Mhm.
in a pose where I'm doing something, like, really strong pose and then, pretending like I was getting my makeup and hair done. It was really elaborate. And this whole time, I'm, like, literally hanging from a ceiling, standing in a pose
Okay.
for like 15 seconds still. It was really hard to do, but that was kinda crazy. It was just different.
So were you a little nervous about the harness or anything?
Oh my god, I was so nervous. First and foremost, I'm afraid of heights, okay?
Okay.
So, I'm hanging from a really tall ceiling, and then I'm afraid I might fall and kill myself. So,
Oh
yeah, I
my
was
god.
really scared. But
Wow.
it turned out really iconic.
What did you have on? Like, was it long dress? Was it something super high fashion? What was it?
Yeah, it was a long dress, kind of very fashion, but yeah, it was
Okay.
definitely.
Okay. Is there any designer that you enjoy working with during your modeling tenure?
Well, I still model, by the way.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So a designer that I loved working with is Rico Chappelle. He's in Atlanta as well. He does like very high couture type styles. At one point when he came to LA, he actually this was years and years ago. He created a jumpsuit, but then he also decided to name it after me. So it was always just so really great working with him.
Oh, that's cool. I seen you in this, long lab coat, for lack of better words. It's, like, colorful. I said, "That's pretty hot. That's pretty cool." Do you know who made that? Or
I don't remember, no.
yeah, it was a real colorful shot on your Instagram. It was in this lab. I'll actually put it on the YouTube. I have, like, a column where I'm creating with the models that I, interview. Some of their photos, I just kinda and I link it to your page and everything like that.
Okay.
So what is the name of your modeling walking production company?
Okay, so it's named after myself. It's the Chanel
Okay.
Renee Project, and it's my model and fashion community and organization.
So tell me about that.
Okay, so the Chanel Renee Project, I started that around the time when I was living in Jackson, Mississippi. Most of the reason why I started the project was because when I got started into modeling, I didn't have like you know how I just said like, oh, I just figured it out. Like I figured out to connect with photographers and how to network and travel and all this. Well, I didn't have anyone tell me how to do any of that. So when I started the project, I decided to be the person to mentor to help other people to be able to do the same thing that I did, especially coming from the South and having no opportunities like being able to get into the door in the most professional way possible. So that's basically why I started the whole entire community was so that I can help mentor people to be able to do the same thing. And then from there, I mentioned like how I got into runway coaching, which was by accident.
Mhm, you're
And then
right.
and then I started working in creative directing on set, so I would help models with poses and, you know, taking great photos. When I moved here to Los Angeles, I worked very briefly with a model agency as a runway director.
Okay.
So then that gave me that opportunity to help models really learn how to get involved with agencies and get signed to an agency. And then also while I was living here in LA, I had a chance to work with this modeling school where I was their model coach and their pose coach and runway coach. And my students would go off into these like these competitions, but then also be able to be seen in front of multiple agencies. And
Mhm.
that gave me the title of having like award winning model coach as my title as well. So the Chanel Renee project is pretty much like this umbrella organization of all the different things that I'm able to do to help models to succeed in their business and what they wanna
Wow.
do.
Wow. So
And
give
it's
me a
all the things
list.
that I'm capable of.
So give me a list of, let's say, the 3 most popular services you have, and tell me a little bit about them.
So right now I just started doing online model consultations. So that's giving people the opportunity who's not necessarily living in Los Angeles, but they can meet with me one-on-one. They can do that online. So that's been very popular. I started doing that in January. Then another one that's super, super popular is my runway classes. So I do a lot of one-on-one runway, but then I also do like small group classes. And another one would be pose, like pose classes.
Okay. Okay. So you could do this with 1 person or 75 at the same time. So you could do a
Yeah, I could
small group
definitely
or a
do
large group.
I could do
Okay.
a large group for sure. I definitely had to do large group classes before, so I can hold down a whole stadium if I need to.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any plans on, like, traveling with this, or have you already attempted to travel? Because 'Cause I'm sure people reaching out to you from all over. I'm in Delaware, but I have no interest in learning how to walk. I got that down if I wanted to. But yeah.
Yeah, I do. Actually, at one point, I wanted to put this on the road, like, and start doing like model workshop classes in different cities. I have done that before, where I went to Little Rock and produced a show, a whole entire workshop there. I may actually go international with it as well. I've just been in on calls with a school that has models in South Africa. So right now, I may
Oh,
actually
that
go
would be so cool.
international with it. And then China, a lot of times I work with my like Chinese students, so I have a school in China that might want me to come that way. So it sounds like I'm going to be doing like a lot more traveling, but I do want to do them in state too. So I may go back home to Jackson, my home roots, and do
Yeah,
another
get them.
workshop.
Yeah, they're
I
waiting on
definitely want
you.
to do more.
You'll be like a celebrity in Jackson if you're not already. Younger girls probably are waiting for you, you know? So
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would be really,
yeah.
really cool. So, when you're teaching models, is there something you look for to say, "Okay, I need to take this approach with her or that approach?"
That's a good question. Yeah, actually, every time I do work with a model, I do understand everyone learns differently. So I always make sure to take it based on what they're capable of or what they're really needing because everyone has their own needs. Everything doesn't work the same way with everyone. So I think
Mhm.
that's also too why I like really doing like 101s because I really can give that person that real focus on what they specifically need. So yeah, there are times when I definitely will readjust how I work around what someone else is doing or what they're
Right.
capable of doing.
So how do you work with girls who have, let's say, low self-esteem? What is it you
Oh,
do to kinda, because, modeling takes, you gotta have some confidence to walk on the runway in front of all these people.
okay.
So how
Yeah.
do you deal with that?
Oh, now that's a very interesting question because self-esteem is like 90% of modeling and confidence really is 90% of modeling. Of course, the rest is like technique and you know you got to be able to actually do it physically, but it is all your mindset. Just to backtrack too, I have a psychology degree. So I think that just helps me a little bit more with being able to be a mentor because I understand
Mhm.
like how the mind works and how to speak to someone correctly so that they can understand it as well. So the first thing I always tell models when I work with them is like, I can work on your walk, I can work on your poses, I can help you with that. But what you're going to have to do is work on your mindset. So I always try to help models understand that is the first and foremost thing that is the most important part of the whole entire industry, not just in modeling, but just in life in general. So it's that self talk. What I've always told them to do is like, you have to create I've actually do this in my workshop class. I make my models create an alter ego, and that alter ego is extremely confident. It's the version of themselves that they really want to be, because when they put themselves in their shoes of being like this overly confident person, that's gonna help them to perform in a way that just shows that confidence. So a lot of times I just tell people like, "Okay, come up with an alter ego name. Who's your alter ego?" And not giving like not saying a celebrity like Beyonce or something. I mean like who is the alter ego to themselves. So then I say, now you show up as that person and that person only every time you're on set, every time you're on the runway, every time you're doing any auditions, you show up, you literally walk in the room as that person. And that person is the highest confident level that you can ever be. And that tends to help.
Right, right. So what is your biggest challenge when teaching girls? Is it posing? pivoting or turning when walking the runway?
I think turning, yeah.
Because they
So
can get
turning
it,
to me
they turn around.
yes, because it's like, you would think that'd be the easiest thing to do, just turn around. But a lot of people just feel like, once they get to the runway or even on the runway itself, and I literally had this whole entire class yesterday with a
Wow.
student of mine about turns only,
Mhm.
so and just doing a drill back and forth with turns because it's so easy to trip over yourself or to do it too fast or to not look confident or anything like that. So I would say turning.
Yeah. Yeah, I think turning is challenging and it requires because during the turn, there's a lot of things going on because you have to first learn how to turn, then you have to learn how to make lose eye contact because some girls stop at the end of the runway and then they turn and lose eye contact. So it's like to me, you have to know how to shine, I guess, or pose, like rock the photographer and then in turn. It's in those 3 seconds, it's just a lot going on, and that's
It's a
all
lot
up to
going
you
on
to
in
do.
3 seconds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what is the age of your average client? Average.
Average? Well, so I work a lot with like the Gen Z crowd. So it could be between like early teens and even higher sometimes if it's going to be more like an in-person thing. But that also ranges because I've recently worked with someone in their 50s. So it just depends, it definitely ranges. And I've worked with so many models throughout the years, so there's no telling. I don't even know what the average age is.
Right, right. And so I asked because is there a all right, there's an age when young girls learn how to walk in heels. And then there's an age when older women forget how to walk in heels. So is there a because my thing is like if you don't use it, you'll lose it. And that's just my belief
Okay.
with this whole thing. And when women hit that 45 in some cases in America anyway, when they hit that 45 or 50, they forget how to walk in heels or even put them on. They just can't even remember how they all did it. But I think it got a lot to do with the ankle strength and balance and coordination and things like that. So is that something that you work with older women and doing and learning how to walk in heels?
Older women, I haven't had the opportunity to work with many older women, especially like
Okay.
in the 40s and 50s. No, not yet.
Okay. Well, I tell
Yeah.
you, if you come to the East Coast, there's a whole lot of 'em modeling
Yeah.
that is in droves. Yeah.
Yeah.
How yeah, that's pretty cool. So tell me about your modeling career now. Like I told me you're still modeling. So what's a typical day? How often you like out there working with people? Things like that. Tell me about that. It's like I lost your connection here. I don't hear you. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Are you still there? Your microphone's muted.
Don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Your microphone somehow got muted. It was
Okay.
then I was just panicking and trying to figure things out and everything. And the next thing I know, it was going. You still talking? I forgot what the last thing that was said.
I think we were talking about my current modeling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your
Yeah,
current model.
okay.
All right. So yeah, we can communicate. I don't know. Do you know I'm a photographer?
No, I did not know that.
Oh, I'm a very good, polished, long term. I'll send you information later. But yeah, this is not about me. It's about you. Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, go ahead. Finish telling me about your modeling.
Oh yeah. So now I'm a commercial model. So that's adding like another notch to my belt. Because commercial modeling is like a totally different lane. It's
Mhm.
100% different than runway. It's different than posing. Because with commercial modeling, you have to know how to present yourself almost like an actress in a way, because a lot of that is going to be on camera, but not in like photography camera, but actually like film camera because
Yeah.
you're like doing like a video in your commercial. So I had a lot of opportunities and so many successes as a model here in Los Angeles. And that's
Yeah.
really hard to do, especially like moving from the South. But I've had a lot of amazing opportunities. So one of the biggest jobs I've done out here recently, you know how Beyoncé put together her hair care line Sacred?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I'm like one of the first Black models with 4C hair type because my natural hair is an afro to actually work with Beyoncé on her Sacred collection. So, but that came from me being a commercial model. So, because what I did with Sacred was it wasn't a print job. It was like I was actually being filmed for their social media. So they created like a whole set and I was speaking over, like, how my affirmations and things like that, so I had, like, my voice was actually involved. I was doing an action where I'm washing my hair. All that's considered commercial modeling. So, because I had that experience of being a commercial model, I was able to do this naturally to make it feel more like a routine of my day, and that's what they put on their social media. So, I worked with Sacred, and I am also a model on their website, so I did a lot of print work with them as well. That's like the biggest recent thing
Right.
I've done. Right now too, if you go walk into an AT&T store, you may see me because I it's a big old picture of me in the
Mhm.
AT&T store, and that's another commercial model job I did. I also did a video with DJ Khaled, Justin Bieber, and Quavo when they had their song came out. But all of these things are on film, so you just have to be like in this is why I'm so grateful for being in commercial modeling because you have to know how to be comfortable on camera in that way where you're doing an action. And that's totally different than just posing or runway. So, yeah, I've had a lot of really good experiences here.
Great. Well, I really appreciate your time and thank you so much for being a part of the Calvin Child show. And thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
Sure thing. Don't hang up. I just stopped the recording.